Welcome back to another episode of the Officialize Experience. He's Kirk Cousins. I'm Kyle Schonewill, and we are very grateful for you listening, and we are happy to be with you today. If you are listening to this, you probably found it on officialize.com, or maybe you found it anywhere else podcasts are found, on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, etc. Today, we were going to dive directly into the football game from last night, but right before we came on here, some breaking news happened. The Vikings have fired offensive coordinator John DeFilippo. So, Kirk, can you kind of give us some of your thoughts on this breaking news about that decision?
Yeah, it's the hard part of this business when coaches are let go. I really like John as a person, as a coach. I feel like he and I are wired very similarly in terms of being guys who are attention to detail and try to do things the right way. And it's really tough to see him go. Again, just one of the challenges of being in this business. And, it's now on us as a team to finish strong. We keep talking about it, but we're still in the playoff hunt. And we have 3 games left. And if we can finish strong, we'll be in the playoffs. And, we have confidence in Kevin Stefanski now as the offensive coordinator. And we'll go forward together and have to really, rally behind him and have a really good showing these last 3 weeks.
Can you give us a little preview of Kevin? Tell us a little more about him.
Yeah, my first experience with Kevin was actually at the Senior Bowl when I was coming out of college. He was an assistant quarterback coach for the Vikings. He's been here many years, seen a lot of people come and go through this building, and I think the staff knows him well. They have a lot of time on task together. He's been an excellent quarterback coach for me. He's got a great way about him, a great demeanor, very intelligent. I'm excited to see him in a greater leadership role with a greater platform to see what he can do.
We have the choice here to view this positively, and I'm going to view it positively and say, we have 3 games left that we can still right the season, Kirk. And I still believe that this team's going to be able to do that. A couple of housekeeping things before we dive into the game. Next week, I'm going to be in Minnesota with Kirk, so we hope to do a couple special things next week, so stay tuned for that. And then the following week is Christmas, the day after the Lions game. We'll probably actually do the podcast on the 26th or 27th, so look for it a little later in the week. Okay, Kirk, here was my big takeaway from the game yesterday. My key word from the day was adversity. As I was watching the game going into maybe the 3rd or 4th quarter, I started jotting down just all the little things that I thought were adversity that were hitting us during that game. It started raining. The 4th and 1 that we didn't get. Then there was a pass interference call that I didn't love. Then the defense stood up and battled back from that. Then we had the 1st and goal from the 5 that we weren't able to score from. A holding call, a drop. Adam and O'Neal both got banged up. The blocked field goal. It was an overwhelming amount of adversity. That was my big takeaway. What was your takeaway on the overall game last night?
Yeah, it's a tough environment to play there. We knew that, and it was. It was a loud environment. Communication was challenging. I was surprised just at how we weren't able to put points on the board. I felt like our defense played a championship game and put us in a position to win that game. And, for a variety of reasons, you go back and you can point to any number of things on any individual play that hurt a drive or ended a drive. But we didn't keep it going. We didn't put it together enough to score points. And I came away from the game just, disappointed in the offensive production. And, it's certainly, you got to credit the Seahawks. They made plays. They had a good pass rush. They had good coverage plan. They made throws tight and difficult. But, I think we can do better than what we did yesterday.
A few of my positives were, like you mentioned, the defense I thought was really good yesterday, keeping you guys in the game.
No doubt. They played outstanding. Anytime you're only allowing 6 points deep into the 4th quarter, you've done your part. And, when we got the ball down there inside the 5-yard line, I thought, we can score here, get up 7-6, and we may win this game 7-6. Who knows? But even then, if our defense can then get another stop, maybe we can go down and expand the lead to 10-6 or 14-6 and then really try to put it away. And I really thought we were going to do that. I felt like in the second half, we started moving the football better, started crossing midfield, started converting 3rd downs and getting in scoring positions. And, for whatever reason, for multiple reasons, it just didn't come together.
I agree. I had that game had a feeling of, we're going to win this one. We're going to pull it off. So I was shocked kind of that it didn't work out. And just the reference to how close these games can always be. I mean, even just like the Seahawks ran all over the defense all first half, and yet it was only 3-0. And then Russell throws that pick, and if Kendricks doesn't fall down, that half ends 7-3. So,
and I don't like this. I don't like the hindsight thing of saying, well, if this had happened or that had happened, because the Seahawks can do that too and point to things. But
yeah, true.
Certainly, and you mentioned them mentioned them in your list of adverse things that happened. You know, whether it was the blocked field goal that multiple referees came out and said, you know, the correct call would have been to say automatic first down. Can't do that, or whether it was the pass interference against us, that was a spot foul that basically put the ball down in the low red zone for them, or you know, Eric making that interception, but then, you know, having the clear path to the end zone, but having to secure the catch and not being able to stay on his feet, and just plays like that where you say, boy, one or two things goes a different way and it's a different result, and that is this league, that is this game, and that's why every play you can't take one for granted, because you never know which one the game's going to turn on. Absolutely.
I don't want to be Captain Hindsight either. I guess I was meaning that it's just that close. You know, you guys are really close to having some of these victories. But
well said.
I guess my question with that is, what do you think? What adjustments can be made late in the season to get over that hurdle, to turn those closes into victories?
Well, you know, we've played a 4-game stretch here that we had talked about 4 weeks ago with the Bears coming off the bye, with the Bears, the Packers, the Patriots, and the Seahawks. And we said these are 4 really good football teams that have outstanding players. And you can say what you want about, excuse me, sorry, I was yelling a lot last night and my voice is still recovering, but you can say what you want about the Packers record, but the fact of the matter is they have one of the best players in the world at quarterback, and they're going to always be in games as a result. And so it's a tough 4-game stretch. And, you know, outside of the Bears, where we had a couple interceptions and didn't come out on top, and then New England at New England, Seattle at Seattle, you know, I feel like offensively we have done a lot of good things this year, and we have been able to find ways to move the football and be explosive. And so I think we can get back to doing that. But you know, the time is running out with only 3 weeks left. So we've got to get it going now.
On the 1st down and 5 sequence from the goal, from like the 5-yard line. Sorry, 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Can you take us through that sequence, and particularly the 4th and 1 call?
Yeah, so we ran it on 1st down. I think we got maybe 2.5 yards, you know, productive run down there when you don't have a lot of yards to gain. And then 2nd down, we called a pass, trying to get the ball to Rudy. He was covered, worked back to Adam, and, you know, tried to put it in a spot where it was ours or nobody's. I wanted to play for 3rd and 4th down and not force something in there into a tight window. So put it out there for Adam, but the ball was a little high and took him out of bounds. And then 3rd down, you know, we went back to running it. Tried to run the zone read inside, and it didn't really get anywhere. May have gotten down to the 1-yard line, and then called a drop back that you know, was going to be tight. And again, when you're on the 1-yard line and they're dropping 7 guys in coverage, they don't have a whole lot of grass to cover, so it's going to be tight. And really had a mirrored concept. In other words, it was a balanced route concept on either side. And you know, I tried to look away from where I was trying to go to Rudy. And, you know, in hindsight, you go back and you see the film and you see the safety slipped and fell down on the left side, and Adam was probably there for a completion. And so that's where you say it's so close. You know, but pre-snap, I just didn't like the leverage of the safety on that side. I felt like they were able to bracket Adam. But, you know, Adam being Adam, he was able, I think, to get open. And in hindsight, I think when you watch the film, the All-22, I think you see there were people that were open down there. It would have been tight throws, but I think you know, we could have come away with a touchdown there.
Matt Hasselbeck on the broadcast defended you on that play for that exact reason, that he said, hey, the safety was leaning towards Adam, so that's the correct read to go away from him. And then in hindsight, yeah, he slipped, but you know, you're not able to see that at that point.
Yeah, so. And if you give eyes to Adam, you probably bring people to the party, and so I would have had to look away and just trust that Adam's going to be there. And again, this is the kind of stuff you do as a quarterback. You go back and say, if I could have done that, could have done this, but you don't have that information in the moment when you're trying to make those decisions ahead of time. And you know, I knew that was a crucial play. I knew when we didn't hit that, even though our defense then did hold up and they had to punt, we had great field position. I just felt like that was pivotal.
Well, just a reminder to everyone, perspective is key. It's also the biggest challenge to have, but I've said this, I feel like 3 weeks in a row, but basically nothing really bad happened yesterday with our playoff chances. For whatever reason, a lot of the other NFC teams lost. So as of today, if the playoffs started, you guys would be in. So it's just key now that we get hot and make a little playoff run, but I definitely think it can happen, and it's kind of right in front of us still.
It's all there. We got a lot of reason to come into work and get ready to go, which is great. So there are teams that come in this time of year and really don't have a lot to play for. Yeah, we do. And so we know that, and our defense has played at a really high level. If they keep that up, that alone can be enough to get in the playoffs. And if we can get back to what we were able to do against the Packers, get back to what we were able to do against the Rams, and some of the other games where we've played winning football, I'd like to think that we'll be a dangerous team here.
Well, here's another one of my positives. 3 indoor games coming up. Finally, you got home game and then at Detroit, which is inside. No more rain. No more rain. No more cold. I'm tired of it. And I bet you're tired of it.
Well, I thought we handled it okay. I don't really point to any times where that was a limiting factor, but and we probably dodged the bullet.
It's still just got to be annoing, though.
No, yeah, I think we dodged the bullet in both Chicago, New England, and Seattle that we didn't have worse weather than what we did. But there's no doubt that that's an added element, and you have to find a way to deal with it. And let's face it, if we do win the 2 of these last 3 or win out and get to the playoffs, we're going to be facing some weather most likely from somebody. So, but there's no doubt that play indoors is a benefit to an offensive, perspective, and we'll see what we can do.
What time did you get in last night?
We landed at 4 a.m. Central Time, and
oh man,
I got back to the house about 4:30, and then unpacked and was in bed about 5 a.m. and then was up about 9 a.m. and now I'm back to work.
Back to work, crazy. Well, we got Christmas coming up here pretty soon. And one of the best things for me about Christmas coming up is not only football and the fact that we're playing for a playoff spot in December, which is fun, but also Christmas music is on the freaking radio, Kirk. I'm a huge fan. Are you a Christmas music fan or what?
I'm a big fan. I do have 3 to 4 preset stations right now in my car that are playing only Christmas music, whether it's Sirius XM or FM radio. And I love it. I can't get enough of it, and it brings out I like the old, the Johnny Mathis, Nat King Cole, Andy Williams. I like the old school stuff, and then I'll mix in a couple new school ones from time to time.
But let's call a spade a spade. Little Drummer Boy is one of the worst written songs I've ever heard.
See, I've never thought about it. You're a music guy, so you would be able to break that down for me. But from where I'm sitting, that's not something I've ever thought about. I think actually my dad, who you know as the Don, the Don actually really likes Little Drummer Boy. So maybe you guys can hash that out sometime.
Him and Dwight Schrute. As I've been driving around, I've been keeping a list of best and worst. Okay, so here's a few of the best: White Christmas, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Let It Snow, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, and The First Noel. Those are some of the ones that hit me as these are the best ones.
I can get behind those.
Worst ones: Drummer Boy, Do You Hear What I Hear, Santa Baby. Have you heard Santa Baby?
I'm down on Santa Baby, and I'm down on Blue Christmas. Not a fan of those.
You're not a Blue Christmas guy. Okay.
Why do I want to get depressed at Christmas? I want to play positive songs. I also like deep tracks. I like deep tracks. Like I love the movie White Christmas, and some of the songs in White Christmas that aren't called White Christmas, like Count Your Blessings that Bing Crosby sings. I love that song. I love the main theme song, the movie Home Alone. It always makes me think of Christmas. So I got some of those deeper cut ones that I like as well.
Well, and there's a few that didn't make my list for best or worst. They're just kind of average. It's not worth my time. Okay, so best or worst was all that I was doing. Kirk, before I let you go, talk to us about the My Cause, My Cleats. You had a chance to partner with a pretty cool organization.
Yeah, the NFL has allowed us the last few years to wear cleats for one game a year that promotes a nonprofit that we do work with. And for the Vikings, it's week 15 this coming week. We'll all be wearing different cleats that promote a charitable cause of our choosing. And for me this year, we chose Urban Homeworks. Urban Homeworks is based in North Minneapolis, and they are dealing with the issue of affordable housing in the Twin Cities. There's a lot of housing issues and trying to allow people who have lived in certain neighborhoods for many, many, many years to be able to stay there and to be able to afford it and to be able to get a leg up in life and in society as a result of gaining equitable housing. So they've been here a long time. They're a well-respected organization. We really believe in what they're doing, and we've given financially to them. We want to promote them, and so we're not only going to put them on our cleats, but Urban Homeworks is going to have a suite at the game. And if anybody over the next few days gives a gift of over $100 to Urban Homeworks, they'll be entered into the chance to win a ticket to that suite. And then I'll come to the suite after the game and shake their hand and thank them for that gift and, take a picture, sign autographs, whatever. So, we really want to put Urban Homeworks on display and let people know about what they're doing in the Twin Cities, because we think it's a really good work and helping people's lives here in this state and in this city.
Organizations like Urban Homeworks really help with perspective for you and for people like me. It's beneficial for us to remember too that despite what's happening on the football field or whatever, people are going through a lot more difficult situations than that. So.
Amen. And they're one of their slogans on a T-shirt they gave me. I love it. It says, "Rebuilding neighborhoods, reconnecting people, reclaiming hope," and that's what they're all about. And that's a cause that I can get behind.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again to everyone for listening. Again, those housekeeping reminders. Next week, hope to be a Victory Monday with some special things, so stay tuned for that. And then the following week, we'll be delaying the podcast to maybe Wednesday or Thursday after Christmas, hoping that everyone has an excellent Christmas break. Kirk, thanks for joining me. Good luck the rest of the year. Let's go out and finish strong. And thank you to everyone for listening.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kyle. And thanks to our listeners. I'm going to get my voice back here over the next 24 hours, and we're going to get ready to go beat the Dolphins.
Absolutely. Skol Vikings.